Oh, so this how it be? This what y'all be looking at?
Yeah.
No wonder y'all niggas crazy. These niggas can't figure out what show he doing.
Hey, what's the name of the show?
We
put my phone. Hold on, look. I'm trying to see where I can put my phone where they don't see when I reference that motherfucker.
We the blueprint.
We the blueprint.
Is it recording?
Yeah. We on right now. That's how we do it.
Okay, well, they the blueprint.
Anyway, this is our special guest, James.
Entrepreneur, barbershop owner. Look,
a man of many opinions. A man of mystery. So, Aaron, you ready, brother?
I'm ready.
You ready to get into it? You want to talk relationships?
I didn't know that's where we was going to start, but you know what? If we want to talk about relationships, we can talk about relationships.
All right, here's the question. This was the question from the other day.
It's good.
Right. Say you hanging out with a young lady. Y'all, kicking it, like the term is. You kicking it. And you explain to her that, look, I'm not into a relationship. I'm not looking at anything serious. I'm just,
Right.
Now, she accepts that.
Okay.
But you notice that if she get the opportunity, she really wants things to be different. She really does want a relationship.
Okay.
The fact that you told her what was going on, does that absolve you from any responsibility on down the line if she maybe get hurt or start acting out or whatever the situation is?
Get a little crazy.
Honestly, as an adult, I feel it important for me to communicate where I'm coming from at all times. Especially when you're dealing in the sense of somebody you're entertaining or you're dating or you seeing as a possible person that you might date.
Right.
You want to make sure that whatever your truth is, be it I'm just dating, to meet new people, to have different experiences, you want to make sure that you reiterate that over and over. And the reason I say that because in my opinion, I don't think women hear that the first time you say that. Or they hear it with a different mindset, like, okay, well, that was who you were prior to meeting me. But you don't know me yet.
They think they're going to change you.
Right. Basically, once I show you who I am,
right,
that's going to pull you out of where you at. Almost like they want to fix you off the jump. It's like, I'm going to fix you. And that's a tragic hole to fall into because you're assuming that man need fixing. And what he's saying is exactly what he mean.
Right.
So.
He said tragic.
It's tragic. Because shit, you come here trying to,
Okay, once he's explained it, is he wrong to continue to hang out with her knowing that she want more? That he's not ready to give?
To me, that's like it's like a trick question. And this is the type of person I am. I feel like every interaction, when you abide in your truth, it only creates better interactions or more real interaction. So if you honestly being true with her, and when you recognize she's not, seeing it the way that you seeing it, and you continue to read, am I wrong? And like I said, you continue to reiterate, like, This is who I am.
Right.
This is what I want. This is what I'm looking for. I don't feel any responsibility to that. What I think, and this is my honest opinion, as a man, working in a barbershop for over 20 years, seeing men, I think when women, and this is my understanding, women are more socially adept than men are. They are socialized different from an early age. They already are focusing on relationships, imagining weddings and all that shit, while we just trying to stop peeing in bed. You know. So basically, I feel like they understand that. I don't look at them in a place of emotional attachment as the inferior.
Right.
They are superior in that. They understand the movements of emotion. Whereas in my feeling, we move with logic. You know, when a man really see a relationship for what it is and what it's worth. A lot of men, it depends on who you are. When you get a little older, you see it. You learn to see the women. You've learned from experience what that experience is like. So you don't engage in things that you know that are just the same old trivial thing. If you're looking for a higher level of connectivity, but you know, a lot of women totally ignore that, and what they deal with is what's in their head and what they see, and they dealing with their timetable. So when they get involved with a man, it's a whole different thing. Yeah, he may even see the same thing that woman see, but with her timetable, she already at the altar. In his mind, he's at the, we gonna really break bread on this. And when I say break bread, I mean like really be honest and come to the bare root of what it means, what I need as a man, what you need as the woman. You know what I mean? And for me, I think because that part of the relationship is so much more logical for men, we come up with logical answers. Women come up with what I feel are emotional answers. It's like they can say, in my opinion, like, oh, you know, I'm dating you to see if I'm married. You know, okay, I'm dating you to see if I really like you.
Right.
If when we run into difficulty, do you have coping skills? Do you know how to sit down and actually analyze what's best for you and what's best for me? You know, are you into me enough to know what matters to me? You know, that type of thing. But I just always know that the woman is going to assume the emotional side of a relationship, and that the man is going to take the logical. And knowing that, I think knowing that is power.
So what you think, Ant? Is a man responsible if he didn't?
I think he is. You know.
You think he is responsible?
I think he is responsible because, you know, as a man, you know, we carry a lot more of the responsibility in our relationships. We supposed to. And if we know we're doing wrong, and we're gonna have them in a certain place that we know they want to be, and we keep on pulling at it because we're taking them out to dinner, having sex with them. So, you know, it's going to be emotional attachment, period. So if we keep on doing this and we know we got control over a relationship, you know, it's on us. It's on us to break it off.
And I respect that. But I feel like...
What you saying is, if you were the woman, y'all going out, y'all basically doing things that people do in a relationship. Y'all going out to eat, y'all taking trips, y'all having sex. So when she start feeling some kind of way, then you like, well, I already told you what was up. That's how a lot of guys are. But you saying, well, I told you.
I told you. All right?
You saying that's how I feel?
Yeah.
No, I mean, this right here is real. If that is who you are, and the person that you see is on a different page, I believe it lends you the right, if you want to be, because I don't believe anything is successful unless you come into one accord.
Right.
So if you can bring that woman into your understanding, then that's a good thing. That's a good thing. If she can understand, like, okay, well, he is saying this and he is saying that and this and that, you know, you kind of have to communicate your position. Because at the same time, you know, she gonna make it obvious that, you know, I'm ready for whatever she may be ready for.
But say if you
But
don't wanna,
if you understand that you are the logical end of it, and I look at it like this, I look at it like where you have the masculine and the feminine energy. The masculine energy is always the logical energy, and the female energy, the feminine energy is always the feminine, the emotional energy. So they're gonna go off of what they feeling. 9 times out of 10, when they speak from a place of feeling, you can recognize that. You can identify because you feel it too. Right? But imagine if you let her just communicate from the emotional standpoint and you don't open your mouth and speak from a logical. There is a balance. And if you can't arrive, in my opinion, if you can't arrive at that balance at the same time, because yeah, she's saying all this and all this, but guess what? As a man, I'm seeing the obstacles of all of that beauty being a reality.
but what
So
about
if I
the
really want
comfort
this
level
relationship, the comfort level of who?
for the man? Because it gonna get comfortable for you too, because you have her at this certain position.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
She may be the one you like to go out on a trip with.
Okay.
Maybe another one you want to just go out to eat with. Maybe another one just like their conversation. So on and so forth. So say if you got 4 women that each one have a different quality for you. Now, but all 4 want you as their husband. So how would you play it?
Now that's deep. But to me, and this goes back to the man. This is totally in the man's column. And I put this to every man. And I think that this is our responsibility as men. I think first you have to know who you are. First, I think, and then secondly, you have to be in line with the purpose. Any man of purpose that understands his purpose will attract a woman according to that purpose. And to people that are, biblically inclined, the Bible says, God will send a wife to you according to your purpose. She's a helpmate and all of that type of stuff. But a lot of men don't invest the time that it takes to knowing their purpose and what it is that they will to bring to the world. And this is what my son is 23 years old, and what I tell him all the time is, have a life that you can invite someone into. Don't invite somebody into your life to create your life. Don't let nobody tell you who you are. Don't let nobody this and that. Find out who you are. Invest enough time in yourself. And to me, that's self-love. Because before I want to know who you are, I need to understand who I am. Because if I don't know who I am, I don't know how to deal with you. So once I have a life that I don't mind involving somebody in and inviting them into, and this is kind of like the outline of who I am. So when they come in and they see that, either they can, this is who this guy is, I'm with it, or I'm not.
Well, you know how we as humans, we change. So
Right.
you as, in your 20s, you're a certain person. In your 30s, you're a certain person. In your 40s, you're a certain person.
Right.
So we all evolving or not. So say if your son who's 23 meet the so-called love of his life at 23
Right.
and want to get married
Well, I
at
almost
25.
dropped some shit.
Huh?
I almost dropped some stuff on that because he done, he 23 and he done met somebody much older who got much more experience, and they pulled from his experience, try to get him to be something that he, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. To me, it really starts with the man, because as a man, and unfortunately to say in today's society, masculinity is under attack like never before. I think that the manly image, you know what I mean? And then when you find the guys that do believe in the manly image, they so gung-ho that they beating the hell out of their woman that they'll never find that balance. And it's not about that. You are what you are. You can't change what you are. So it's about a matter of growing up and recognizing and realizing who you are. But for the young men, my advice would be just to be sure of who you are, to be sure of your convictions. You know what I mean? And then the thing about it, even in the game where it goes to, we meeting different females and all this and that, at least I'm starting from a place of I know who I am.
Right.
And if I can communicate who I am, everything that's not flowing my way will go the other way. Because I'm not sitting here fluctuating, looking like anything goes. You know what I mean? So
yeah, but you got certain dudes who got a bunch of females really do it to show other dudes that they can have a certain amount of females. So they not doing it for who they are, just to show, I guess they feel more of a man because they have and able to have this amount of females. So they still don't know who they are.
But you know what? For me, I think that's a level of growth.
Yeah.
As a man, because I'm grown, and I still hang with guys that are in their 50s that think it's something to have females checking for them. Bro, if you are a man, a woman wants a man. That is no headline. Ain't nothing new about that shit. Ain't nothing new about it. A woman wants a real man. And that's the problem that happens in today. You got a lot of men out there married and they chasing whatever. And then you see, or that woman see, a real man who know who he is, who's stepping his steps out. A woman wants a man. It's just as natural as just like dry want to be wet. And that's just the way I believe it. And if that man, the thing that makes that man the man is knowing who he is. It's not jumping out here in this rat race. I don't have to do anything that I see anybody else doing. It's a matter of knowing myself first, and then knowing that my manhood is achievable by me doing these things. You have to desire your manhood and your purpose more than anything. That's what I believe as a man. And then once you got that down, all that other relational stuff is second. We can communicate from a point of knowledge, because you asking me, who am I? And I can tell you very clearly, this is who I am. I believe in kings. I believe that kings roll with kings, and we pull each other up. That's just who I am.
So as a king, does it make sense to spend your time, your resources, and your money on somebody that you don't even see that you don't see a future with?
Excellent question, and the answer is no.
Right.
But what
happened?
happened?
I'm talking about, we all did that when we was younger. I'm talking about for those in our bracket.
Some of the older kings are bored.
Y'all a little older than me though.
Right. We're a little older than him, but still. This the cup that you're gonna be passed. After a while, it's gonna be like. Right. Exactly. That's all it is, man. And like I said, it's gonna always be. And that's not to say that women are less and they just living their life looking for a man. No. Right. Queen, I recognize you in the totality of who you are.
But we are the hunters.
Right, but we are the hunters. And listen, sisters, I don't care what 2020 tell you, real kings still love to hunt. I don't need you coming for me.
Right.
Matter of fact, I don't want you coming for me. Let me see you in the totality of who you are. And let me pursue you. Don't come for me. Please don't come for me. And I may not be every man, because some guys like to just be validated. I'm cool with that. I don't need nobody to validate me. But sisters, if you respect yourself and the woman and the man that raised you, don't come for no grown man. I think it's culture that teach y'all, well, just be more aggressive, this and that, all this. Listen, real men still looking for the needle in the haystack, the diamond in the rough. You know what I mean? I will overlook 100 chicks with their ass hanging out with the short skirt on for the chick who just came. She came to the party, but she sat over in the corner with her dignity.
Right.
You see what I mean? That to me is a queen. You know, and there's different ways to weigh that out.
But when you get bored, which one you might want?
Well, I mean, if you get bored and you get drunk, you might want anything. Ain't no telling what the hell you might want. You know.
So let me ask you this, because since we talking about relationships and you said real men, it made me think about a lot of the memes that go around and a lot of the so-called relationship coaches and all the men sometimes that we talk about on Instagram that got all this information for ladies and they just hang on to it.
Oh my God.
What's your opinion on time limits? Like, well, a man know what he want, and if you've been dating X amount of time,
right,
and he ain't asked the question, what's your take on that?
Listen, sis. If you've been dating this man, first of all, I'm gonna tell you this right here. I heard, and then my phone ring, but they say that it takes a woman. Oh, I should have answered this one. But and this is some shit I heard. Oh, it take a woman 30 seconds to decide if she gonna deal with the man or not, and I'm saying deal with lightly.
Right.
But if you a man and you recognize that this ain't your cup of tea,
right?
You know, yeah, you can be bored or whatever, you can whatever, but you have to think it. I think if you think about it, and this is why I say it's important too, and this is something we was gonna be on, but about gifts and knowing purpose and all that type of stuff. When you're a man, and that's why I say it's important to understand your purpose.
Right.
Because when you understand purpose, she can be tripping and you be like, you know what, baby, that ain't even according to my purpose.
Right.
So I ain't even got to entertain that. Now, if I was over here and we was having an argument that was dealing with purpose, then I can entertain it. Because at least we talking about something that's relevant.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think as men, and this is what I told guys, and especially being in the barbershop business, and this is what I realized a long time ago. We stand in a particular position where we stand and represent a masculine, a responsible masculine, and that brings about a lot of opportunity for you. If you the playboy type or whatever, you know what I mean, because sisters are differently. But I say this to brothers, and this is why I like to communicate with brothers. Brother, understand the big picture, and don't dirty up the whole stream just to catch your fish.
Right.
Get your fish and go, bro. You ain't got to be out here making noise and make me feel like, you know, I done cast my line out for nothing.
Right.
You know, if that's what you're about, then take that and go and move on. But it's important to understand your purpose. It's important to know who you are first as a man. And that's a lot of things, and you know, as men that we don't talk about. Men are under-socialized. That's why I think it's a good thing. This podcast is a great idea. You know, anytime you can have men communicate, it's a positive thing. Because either we learning what not to do next time, or are we learning how a real man genuinely feels. You know, and I think the culture feeds into this mindset of men that are, you know, we want women to pursue us. We want to be adored, just like, man, a lot of that is true. But I don't need you to become me to find me.
Right.
You know, I want to find you. I want to see purpose in you, just like you looking for me for a purpose. You know, I want to see that in you. But if you coming at me and you trying to scoop me up, I don't see nothing.
So let me ask y'all this. What's the one thing that you see over and over again as far as with women that when it comes to men, they just constantly get it wrong? I know what mine is.
Well, shoot.
Okay, shoot.
Every relationship I've ever had, I've always heard women get upset and say, well, it seemed like since we together for so long, that you would just know.
Oh God.
I don't have to finish it, do it.
Right, you don't have to finish that shit, bro. Listen, if I
So
can't.
what's your take on that? Is that a true fair statement?
Listen, if I was a mind reader, I would have been approaching you a whole different way. I would have been asking you for money every time I read your mind.
Right.
Because people love to hear their own thoughts from another perspective.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, no, I'm not here for that. This is real life, sis.
Right.
Like, wake the fuck, wake up.
What would you recommend then?
Excuse me.
To a woman that truly believes that I shouldn't have to tell my mate
That's a fallacy.
what's going on?
That's fantasy.
Right.
To me, that's fantasy.
I mean, you're not communicating better. You got to communicate.
If you think a relationship is anything less than communication, you lost.
You lost.
You don't want no relationship.
Right.
You need to tell me who you are.
Right.
I need to constantly be communicating to you who I am.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then that grows into like who we are. Eventually it forms its own identity. This is who we are together.
And you're always getting to know each other.
Exactly. But you don't, and then you don't want to diminish who you are. Because they'll paint a whole picture, and then next thing you're in a relationship, and it's all her. It look like her. It feel like her. You know what I mean? And you on a dinner date on some shit you never would have booked.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's important, and that's what I say. Like I believe men are like under socialized, and we need to learn to say that. That's why I'm glad to be a part of the conversation, because a lot of brothers go into relationships with templates. Stuff that, I heard, OG said he told old girl this and this and that. Bro, that shit don't work.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Pay attention to the woman in front of you and deal with her. And then, so much so, it ain't even really all about her. Who I am. This is who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, she needs to understand who you are. Because you are the masculine. You know what I mean? And then when I say that, a lot of, he on that shit. No. Because a masculine is not a full masculine if it don't acknowledge the feminine.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is direct contrast to who I am. And for you to fully appreciate how masculine I am, look at this feminine. Not to point at you or nothing, but. That's how it be working though.
So as older guys relating to the younger guys.
Right.
A lot of times we get bad information.
Right. Oh yeah. I don't know
Real
why we
bad
do
information.
that. That's that old ego shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
We be
Yeah.
living out of ego. Man, tell that one look at it. Bruh.
You better keep it real.
Keep it real. Keep it 100. Let her really see who you are. Because I'm gonna tell you, a big part of and that is very deep that you brought that up. Because a big part of who I am today started off by OG being politically correct. Okay? A lot of people don't know this. I grew up in the home. My mom was abused physically. Okay? And I was in a barbershop.
Home of misinformation.
Home of the Lord Jesus.
The lies, boy, the barbershop lies.
You see what I'm saying? That's why this is the blueprint to the answer.
Right.
So, my wife woke me up at 3 o'clock in the morning and told me to go take out the trash or whatever, Then the Bible said, well, shit, if it were me, I don't recommend no man beat his wife, but I'd have beat my wife ass. She woke me up at 3 o'clock in the morning talking about taking out the trash. That was the reality in my home as a kid. My mom was getting dealt with like that. And that shit broke my heart.
Yeah.
And see, that's what I'm saying. That's why as men, and I say this to every man, recognize the power that you walk with. Even when you're not conscious of it, brother. You are a man. You are a man. And that's why it's good for conversations like this, because it reminds us of our responsibility. And your responsibility ain't beyond you. Be a man. Speak the truth. Be logical. We ain't got to be out here being emotional. That's not, I've met emotional men, but I had to meet them 2 or 3 times because I was like, the first time went right. I feel you, but calm down, bro. We need to figure this out, not just feel it. What we gonna do about what we feel? So, to me, that is the biggest key. When a man really know his purpose and he's secure in his masculinity and he's free to communicate those things to a woman, it is absolutely liberating to the right woman. The wrong woman will take you the wrong way. She'll, chew it up and start an argument. Mm-hmm. You know what? Don't worry about it. Mm-hmm. Because everybody ain't going to hear you and understand. But when you take that position as a man, in my opinion, and stand where you're supposed to stand and speak the things you're supposed to speak, you know what I mean, and not be wavering. And this is the type of, environment that, grows men. You have to have this kind of conversation with men as a man. So I'm glad to be here tonight. I'm glad to be a part of this conversation because this is the conversation that we need to grow men into kings. Okay? Because we got to go to the next level of this thing now. We got, women marrying boys, looking for a future. Ain't no future. You just gave birth to a boy. So how you looking forward? And the person that's leading you is a boy. The same thing behind you is in front of you.
Right. So
you heading toward what you already seen. You really need somebody who understands purpose. And to me that's the biggest thing. This podcast is a big thing to be able to communicate to men. I say this a lot, especially in the barbershop. These guys are barbers, they know. Men are under-socialized, under-counseled. We don't talk about our pain. We don't talk about our losses. We don't. You put all that under masculinity and I'm just still that guy, No. Some stuff doesn't happen. And we need to reason this stuff out because guess what? What's the base of manhood? Logic. Mm-hmm. So if you don't even want to talk about it, we ain't getting nowhere near no logic.
Not at all.
So you ain't making no sense to nobody.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's
it.
That was pretty good.
You did a good job, man.
Any closing thoughts, Ant?
No.
That's it?
I'll tell you one thing. They ain't got no closing thoughts.
No.
I'm going to tell y'all a closing thought after they turn the camera off.
It's off.
It's off?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's off.
Goddamn, go get us one more drink. And the truth will be told in this motherfucker tonight.
All right, we the blooper.
Hey! No, we ain't recording.
We still recording, man.
Come on, man.
That's Joe on Anthony.